Today is Dia de los Muertos, the Day of All Saints, the day in which, according to my tradition, the Mexican tradition, those that left before us, our ancestors, joined us for another meal, for another moment of sharing the bread or the pan de muerto and the hot cocoa or chocolatito caliente with us, those they left behind, and that we one day will be together sharing the flowery path with them back to visit those that we will leave behind. One day we too will become ancestors, but today we celebrate the sisters, mothers, grandparents. Today we celebrate those whose lives have paved the way for ours. These days, the veil is thin between the worlds, between the invisible world and this tangible one where we live in. These days, death is loose, taking away those souls that are ready to leave us and to join the spirits. Even my cat knows there's something going on in the invisible realm. And so today I share with you a story that unfortunately is a real story. The story of the two women, the one that was too afraid to leave and the one who wouldn't die. These two women are my relatives. Well, both of them are aunts. One is the aunt of my husband and the other is my aunt. So they are both my relatives. And they both passed in just a couple of days apart from one another. They both died just in the bridge of El Día de Muertos. One of these stories, though, is a very cautionary tale for everybody to hear and to take into heart. One of these stories is the story of the woman that couldn't leave. This woman had a lot of trauma in her life, or so we think. We assume, we can only guess, because of course, as it happens with people that are much older than us, sometimes they don't share their pain, they just keep it to themselves. This woman was, unfortunately, are her other siblings, very miserable. And I mean not to speak ill of the dead, but this I have to say. This woman was living a very miserable life, not giving herself or providing to herself even the most basic needs. She was a woman that wouldn't use the money that she had, which she was a woman that would live to rot money, land, houses. They lost a lot. They never valued it. They had money in the bank. At the hour of her death, now they cannot even take it to pay for her funeral services because they couldn't use it. They had a store and they left everything in the store to rot. And her death was preventable too. It was an infection from a very stupid wound that she wouldn't treat with a doctor There were other things in which she could spend the money, not on doctors. No, that is such a minor thing. That the wound killed her, an infection killed her because it was untreated. The best description of the tragedy that these women's lives bears with us is the fact that even when she was a kind-hearted woman, because she was, she never felt worthy of giving herself a little bit of pleasure, a little bit of spare time, a little bit of joy. She wanted to go to a place, a small town nearby, to have some vacation time for years and years, and there was always something more important to do. And so she never went to this place. Well, next time. I don't have time, but I might go one of these days. I don't have time, but one day I'll go to this small town and have some spare time there. They never came. And so she died. But did she ever live? She left the heart of people that she loved in sadness because she was a loving person. She was kind. But she wasn't kind enough towards herself. And that is the greatest tragedy in even myth. She allowed herself to rot. And that is her story and her tragedy. On the other hand, I have the story of the woman that refused to die. This other aunt who fought a deadly disease for years. And she was victorious. She had defeated cancer. Unfortunately, cancer came back, but she had defeated cancer. But that's not what is to remember about her the most. What is to remember about her is her adventures, her journeys, the places she visited, the friends she made, the warm smile she had for everybody that she got to know, beautiful adventures she shared with so many dear people. She was a woman that lived fully, that lived widely. And those died. Death came equally to both of them, but one was too afraid to live, and the other lived fully. The other had so many memories that people are just sharing. They are sharing their pictures with her. She has pictures where she's all about happiness and joy and birthday cakes and celebrations. She has a life to celebrate. They both die, but they both live. And that is the one lesson of death. It's going to come to us all at the end. But what are we going to do with the time we have right now? Are we going to let it go to waste? Are we going to let everything around us rot? Are we going to rot away? Are we going to squeeze the last minute of life while we have it, out of it, enjoy and have pleasure and fun? Life, infuse life in every second that we are in these divine bodies that we have. And in my work has been precisely a reminder of living, because I feel like my life, and so many women's, was going in the direction of rotting for so long, waiting for the right moment to live, waiting for the right circumstances to enjoy life, waiting for the right people to love me, to appreciate me, to welcome me, for the right job or for the right house or for the right whatever to start living. My life was going to waste. My cat cannot stop meowing just right now. It's like, come on, okay. My life was going to waste, and it was getting back into my body what allowed me to change lines and to start living more fully, to start living a life that I can recall at the end of my days. And it is still a challenge. It is still a choice that I have to make every day. And it is a choice we have to make every day. Choosing life every freaking day. Choosing to actually show up for life every freaking day. That is the real challenge. When life presents in front of our eyes, are we going to be living it? Or are we just going to let it go to waste? Seated in front of a TV and watching TV or Netflix for hours until our lives go to waste? Or are we going to go and live and do the things that we need to do for our life to be worth it? For me, what makes it worth it is the love that I saw, the comfort that I give, the memories that I plant in the hearts of those that I care for. Also, the fun that I have, the laughter that I have, the places that I visit, that I dream of visiting, the orgasms that I have, the expansion, awareness that I get when my body connects to this energy of pleasure. It's not just about loving, both women were loving and caring. It's about freaking daring to take the lead of your life. It's about freaking daring to take the lead of your life. To take the pleasure of your life, to take the fun, to go to that place, call that friend, have that amazing sex. Stop refraining ourselves from living fully and shamelessly, because that's all we're gonna have at the end of the day. So this small video is a little love song and love memory, love dedication to both women, to the one that helped raise, supporting the raising of my husband, who I know was very loving and kind, but who died without having ever lived, and who I know so many of us can relate to at one time or another. And to this other woman who lived shamelessly, who has so many beautiful memories that she has left for those of us that are going to miss her and to share stories about her. I personally desire to become more like the second woman and to plant stories and to plant adventures and to have more pleasure, more laughter, and more aliveness. That's what I desire for myself, for my loved ones, and for you who are watching this. Thank you.